Yo, what's up with you guys? Today I'm going to show you guys why I thought that eating a lot of food was going to make me fat, but that way of thinking left me skinny with no results at all. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to build muscle without gaining fat. So you went from this to the other person to that. See, I told you guys this is the reason why you don't want to eat a whole lot of food at one time because you're going to end up like this. I started out super skinny. I'm talking about like I was a stick figure. Sometimes I would eat a lot of food, and I'd get inconsistent, and then it wouldn't be sustainable for what I was trying to do. Or I would not eat enough food. I wouldn't even be able to fuel my workouts. I wouldn't even feel good. Not seeing the results made me almost quit the gym, right? I was very inconsistent. I just didn't really know what I was doing, right? And I trained for 2 years without seeing results at all. I was this skinny guy for a long period of time. I was just doing anything. Like I was watching a lot of these YouTubers who were doing bodybuilding on steroids, and I thought what they were doing would work for me, right? Eating a whole bunch of food until I learned these key 3 strategies that allowed me to actually blow my body up, right? I went from this physique to this physique in 4 to 5 months. I was able to add another 10 to 15 pounds of lean muscle mass to my physique. The first key strategy we're gonna go over is number one is gonna be nutrition. Nutrition was a huge part in how I've been able to change my physique, right? Once I learned what I needed to put into my body, everything changed for me. But personally, me, I judged myself based off the amount of meals I was eating. Honestly, didn't track my calories. But I recommend you guys do this. But how I was able to do this, I started out with 3 meals, right? I started adding more protein, carbs, and vegetables in my diet, right? So I have a protein, a carb, and a vegetable. Those up in between 3 meals. I would do that for a week. If I didn't see any progress as far as my weight or my physique, I would up the meal again. So I went from 3 meals a day to 4 meals a day for a week. Then I went to 5 meals a day for a week. And then I went to 6 meals a day for a week, right? I was eating every 2 to 3 hours, right? Until I started to see serious progress within my physique. I would up my meals every single week depending on how I looked in the mirror. Most of the time for beginners, nutrition is super simple for you guys because if you're just starting to get in the gym, you're going to have newbie gains, right? Your body's going to be more susceptible to put on mass because you haven't really worked out yet. You have about a beginner stage between a year before you start getting to the intermediate phase and you got to change things up. Every meal you eat needs to prioritize protein, you need to have a carb, you need to have a vegetable. So you need to either need to increase the amount of meals you're eating or you need to decrease them, depending on if you're trying to cut or trying to build muscle. I ended up being at about 6 meals a day after the first one of me working out with him, and that's when my body like blew up because I was still like in the beginner range because I really didn't know what I was doing for those first 2 years. I was just doing anything and everything. I was inconsistent on my gym routine, so I was able to gain a lot of mass, right, but not gain a lot of fat because I was judging my meal. I was judging myself based off how I look every week. If I was gaining a little bit of fat, I would cut down on the meals a little bit, right, to maximize my muscle gain and a little bit of fat. Number two is going to be your workout routine. You need to be training in a hypertrophy setting, right? You need to be doing high repetitions. Specifically for someone who's trying to build muscle, we were doing a lot of high repetitions. We were doing anywhere from 12 to 15 reps, anywhere up to 20 reps, because this allows you not only to build muscle at the exact same time, but burn fat too, because it's almost like cardio, right? You're doing 15 to 20 reps. It's almost endurance training, right? You're putting your body in a stage of hypertrophy, right? You're building muscle and you're cutting fat at the exact same time. So that's what we focus on is high intensity training, supersets, and making sure that we're maximizing and putting intensity into our workouts, right? Making sure our split is right. We were doing majority of a bro split, chest and triceps. We were doing back and biceps. We were doing shoulders and arms, and then we were doing legs. So we were working body parts that complemented each other, right? So if you're doing chest, right, you might as well do triceps as well because you're using that to actually push the weight up. So we were doing majority of workouts like that. You want to do workouts that complement each other. We started adding supersets in. We were adding intensity into our workouts. A lot of you guys train like snowflakes. I'm just going to be honest with you. You're not training hard enough, right? You want to train hard and eat correctly after that. That's going to be super important because your body is most susceptible to taking that protein right after you work out. Now, once you do this for about a year, right, you start working out, eating the right nutrition, right? You're starting to up your meals. You're starting to get your high intensity training, right? You go from a beginner to an intermediate level after a year. Body starts to plateau. And you have to start changing things around. And from that year to now, where I'm at right now, I've naturally cut fat and built muscle over time, over a period of time. It was a slow process, but I've naturally just put on muscle, like at maintenance. Like I haven't really been in a calorie surplus. I haven't really been tracking my macros. I've only just been eating meals, like 3 to 4 meals a day, making sure I'm working out every day. And my body is just naturally changing, right? It's naturally growing muscle. I'm a lot bigger than I was before 2 years ago when I first got the newbie gains and I had. But that's what happens, right? You go from beginner to an intermediate, and your body plateaus, right? People are like, oh, I'm not getting results. Well, that's natural, right? Your body gets, it kind of just plateaus, get used to what it's used to. And from that standpoint, you want to stay at a maintenance level, make sure you're still prioritizing protein, but stay consistent on it, right? Which number 3 is consistency, right? Once you get to that 1 year mark, you need to be consistent because your body's going to naturally change over time now. This is exactly how I was able to help some of my clients as well do this as well, right? Allowing them to actually build muscle without gaining a lot of fat because it comes down to nutrition, working out, and consistency, applying it over time. So it's not an overnight thing where people just automatically come down the sky and is automatically in the best shape of their life, right? It takes time to actually build that physique, right? Once you get to that maintenance level. So this is what I've been doing over the last 2 years is just maintaining and building on top of my physique. The reason why what didn't work for me was these guys who was on steroids who were eating a whole lot of food. The number one thing that was wrong with them is that steroids allows their body to be able to take all that food and that nutrition and turn it into muscle, right? If you're a natural person, you're going to get fat if you're eating 6,000, 5,000 calories a day. It's just naturally how it is. If you're not on enhancers, your body is not going to be able to take all that nutrients in at one time. Steroids speeds up the process once that nutrition comes in. Natural, it's a slow process. A generalized good body, a good physique takes time. Not only are you building the habits for someone who can stick to something for a long period of time, you'll be able to transfer this to anything else in life. Make sure you're getting your protein in, right? You got your chicken, you got your ground turkey, you got salmon, you got your lean ground beef, your steaks, all your red meats. And these are all good proteins you guys can use. Specifically me, I was just eating ground turkey and chicken. That was my main go-to things. Not only they were cheap, but they were easy to make as well. So meal prepping was super important for me as well, was making sure that I had 4 meals ready the next day. So you want to make sure that you're actually having the meals prepped before so you can have it ready for the next day. Did I enjoy it? No, I didn't. But it got me the results that I wanted to get. So you gotta do things most people aren't willing to do to actually get the results that you want. Most people don't want to put in that hard work and that consistency and actually go in there and train and actually get the results they're looking for. Because I was always going in the gym with intention. I wasn't going there just to lollygag. I was going in there to build something. I was going in there to actually build a foundation. Just don't take this video, save it later, and don't do anything about it. Guys, implement this, right? Figure out what your grocery list is going to look like for the next week. Figure out your split, right? What are you doing on this day, this day, this day, this day, so you know what you're doing when you're going to the gym. You're not guessing it. I already gave you guys my split that I did. I was doing 3 meals a day for a week. Then I did 4 meals a day for a week. Then I did 5 meals a day for a week. Then I did 6 meals a day for a week. That's how I did it. You can track your calories too. If you want to track your calories, go to MyFitnessPal. You can put in 200 to 300 calories surplus, right? Put all your information in, do 200 to 300 calories surplus, and track all your meals if you're a person that likes to track their meals. And then do that over a period of time. And then once you start to see you're getting results, you can up it again, right? And up it again until you start seeing some fat and then dial back down on it, right? You always want to use the mirror as a way for you to judge if you're progressing or not, right? You can always look at numbers, but the mirror is going to be your best judgment factor. So even taking progress photos, right? Taking a picture of yourself now in the mirror, and then, being able to see that a week from now, the next week. That's how you're going to progress. So start now, y'all. You got the plan of action. You know what you need to do. Get to it. If you guys are looking to actually get in shape, you guys can go ahead and schedule a call with me. I'll see if you guys are a good fit for the program. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the video. Catch you.